This is Tiffany from WMER, and I'm here with Ultimate Painting in their tour van, I suppose. Do you guys mind introducing yourselves?
I'm Jack Cooper.
I'm James Hall.
So welcome to Cambridge. Have you guys been here before?
Yes, a few times before, yeah.
Okay, what have you gotten in Boston in your previous trips and today?
Food-wise, we went to the place in the Middle East around the corner, and I had a tofu kebab, but it was like a salad and beans. It was good.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you?
There was an incident with my food because I don't eat meat, and I ordered the veggie burger with salad, and the guy, I was like, "What sort of burger is it?" Because I don't like those kind of, the chickpea crushed. I don't like that. I'd rather have like a, seitan burger or soy or something. And he was like, "Oh, it's a soy burger." Anyway, so I ordered it, and it came out, and I was like, "Looks pretty meat-like," but they kind of do in America, a lot of them. The kind of veggie burgers. Anyway, I bit into it, and I was like, "Oh, it's totally meat."
Oh.
Yeah. So.
Have you grown up vegetarian or?
No.
Okay, so you've had, you could definitely tell.
Yeah. Well, there was blood as well, which is a giveaway.
Okay, yeah.
The vegan, vegetarian community don't see a need to simulate blood yet, in their.
I'm probably not that far off though.
Yeah.
That was one thing I was gonna ask about actually. Do you find it easier or harder, or is it just different to eat vegetarian in the States versus in the UK?
It's certainly getting easier in the UK. I think it's always easy, but what do you think?
I think in the States, it's very easy in most of the places, particularly on the coasts. But I think if you go into in the south, or there are probably certain areas where there's less options, should we say. But if you're if you're in any of the more cosmopolitan areas, it's probably easier in the UK.
Yeah, and now that you're here for a few months, right, or a month or so, do you guys have any American dishes or specialties that you are looking forward to having while you're here?
Well, all of us enjoy eating Mexican food a lot. So we'll be eating as much Mexican food as possible when we're on the West Coast.
Yeah, England is very it's kind of the only the one food that it's good to get is Mexican food. There's a couple of places, but it's generally pretty bad. So it's kind of exciting coming over here and eating Mexican food.
Do you have a favorite place to get it? I'm guessing in California or the Southwest or something like that.
Well, yeah, Chicago. There's one particular place we love going to, and then
What's the name of the place in Chicago? Do you remember?
Yeah, El Patron.
Okay.
If you're ever in Chicago, you should go. It's great. It's really good. And then in the South you can get good Mexican food. Tex-Mex. Yeah, and then in California, all through California, you can get good Mexican. So.
Do you have you had any restaurants or gone to any restaurants that you found to be particularly good in this first week of the tour?
We went to Champ's Diner in Brooklyn yesterday, which is always really good. It's purely vegan, but it's kind of pretty traditional, American diner food. Do you want to stop this for a sec?
Oh no, I think it's fine.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
fine.
I'm trying to think of else.
Well, we went to El Patron literally when we got off the plane in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
AJ, who plays bass with us, went. By the time we arrived at Bill and Lisa, who run Trouble in Mind, which is the label, AJ had got back with Mexican food from El Patron, so that was good. Where else?
It has been just a week, so
The thing that's bad, I find, is that sometimes you get a buyout at a club, and so you can go anywhere and you can Google a good restaurant or vegetarian restaurant or something. but then sometimes you get food at the venue, and like we've had a couple of times where we've had food at the venue and it's like it's not been bad. It's just maybe not what you want before you play, especially.
Be more like what in England they'd call pub food, like fried stuff, and like
you don't want to eat heavy
it's
before
not.
you play.
Well, I don't think any of us really, but I particularly don't ever eat food like that at home. It's just not something I do. I don't think any of us do really. So that can be a downside, but. We have managed to eat some pretty good meals. We went to a place called the Owlery in Bloomington.
Oh yeah, that was
really good.
What type of food was that?
That was a vegetarian place as well, and it had lots of different things. You could get breakfast. You could get like big bowls with kale and just loads of different things.
Yeah.
Kind of like a mom and pop sort of like diner, small town sort of diner, but all vegetarian. It was really, really good.
Okay.
Yeah. And we went to Vanessa's in Williamsburg.
Okay.
Which is like a dumpling place. That's really good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Vegetarian dumplings.
Yeah.
Like Chinese dumplings or?
Yeah, I guess so.
Vanessa's doesn't sound like a Chinese name.
No, it doesn't.
No, it is Chinese. They are Chinese dumplings though.
Okay.
But it's not specialising vegetarian.
Yeah.
I mean, everything else, they're pretty much the only thing that is vegetarian.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's one of the cool things about America, because there's always, no matter where you go, there's like an option for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of the times, especially in like mainland Europe, you'll go somewhere and there's like nothing to eat really, except like some
salad or something.
Yeah, some fries or something.
Yeah. They definitely don't understand vegan culture, really.
Yeah. So are there certain like things that you miss them when you're here in the States, or it sounds like there are better vegan options potentially here?
Yeah, I don't think
there's
when I'm here, there's no food in the UK that I miss, I don't think.
Okay.
When I'm in the UK, there is food I miss from here, but I don't think vice versa. I think you can get everything here.
Yeah.
And normally better equivalents.
Okay.
The one thing that I miss, like James is probably the same as me. I like cook at home at least once a day, maybe twice a day.
Okay.
So I miss doing that. That's the worst thing about having to eat out every night.
Yeah, right. Is there a particular type of food or dish that you like to cook when you're at home?
Well, I'm like vegetarian when I'm on tour, pretty much, and then my wife, we got married recently.
Oh, congratulations.
Is vegan, and so I'm like vegan like most of the time, but when I come on tour, I don't have like the resolve really to do it.
Okay.
So, we like. My wife used to live in Austin, so she's like really good at Mexican food.
Okay, so she's American.
No, she's English.
Oh, okay, but grew up in...
No, she just moved there for a few years.
Okay.
So we make like Mexican food, and I don't know. We get like a veg box, so it kind of dictates what sort of things.
Oh, like a co-op, or not a co-op?
Yeah, like a co-op thing. There's
okay.
like where we live in Hackney in London. There's like it's called Growing Communities, and they like, you go and collect it, and it's all very wholesome and middle class.
Okay. So you're both from London, is that right?
We both live in London, but we're not actually from London either.
Oh, okay, where are you from?
I'm from the West Country, which is in the bottom end of the UK.
Okay.
It's like countryside.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Did you grow up in like a pasture, or is it like...
It's pretty nice where I grew up. Yeah, it's like all fields, and like I grew up on this small like country estate, and just, like very nice rivers and beaches and surfing.
Very fresh produce, or?
Yeah. Loads of it's very healthy, and it's good quality of living, I guess.
Do you have any top recommendations for where people should go in that area?
Well, there's a town near where my parents live called Totnes, and that has a lot of good places.
What are some examples?
There's a place called the Seeds Cafe. It does a lot of good stuff. I think these days there's like in the UK you can get good food in small towns, which is something that you probably couldn't in the past.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's just got far more popular to eat decent stuff and particularly healthy stuff. I think in the
versus like cooking it at home.
Well, no, just as in poor quality restaurants. I think
Okay.
in the last 10 years. I think the
Yeah,
quality.
and I think like TV is like a big, like there's so many food programs on British TV, in the evenings and stuff.
And
I
how-
think it's
and-
the culture has totally shifted in the last.
Yeah, I think about 10 years, right? Like
Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, if I ever went to like a meal with like anyone, it would always be like burgers and chips and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And it is things like TV programs, like we were talking about Jamie Oliver.
Yeah.
He's had these schemes to get like kids eating healthy at
Yeah.
schools. So it has really filtered down, and I think I actually respect him a lot for doing that, because and also people are very into like middle class lifestyle. Like in the area we live in London, there's lots of like small farmers markets and lots
Oh,
of
wow,
shops
okay.
selling very nice, good quality produce. It's kind of a backlash against supermarkets and
Yeah. Okay.
consumerism.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask you a few questions about British food in particular, because we were talking earlier. I watch a lot of British food shows.
Oh yeah.
And so I've been sort of learning about different traditional dishes, I guess. And so I'm hoping you'll act as sort of British ambassadors for American listeners that know nothing about
Sure.
these dishes. So the first one is Bubble and Squeak.
Yes, okay. That is a traditional breakfast dish, and it's using leftovers.
Yeah, from like your Sunday roast meal
Yeah,
usually.
exactly, yeah. And so it's like cabbage, isn't it? Cabbage and the potatoes are the main
Yeah,
bit.
you take the roast potatoes and it's like a hash sort of thing.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure Americans must have an equivalent.
Hash browns, maybe?
No,
But
but
it's
not
more like mash,
quite.
right? Than
Yeah,
This
it's
is
like
like
mashed
crispy.
potatoes, but then you do fry it.
yeah, it is quite an individual kind of thing. It doesn't look particularly pleasant, but
Okay.
but it's like your leftover vegetables from a Sunday dinner. But I think traditionally it's like the cabbage and the potatoes.
Okay. Hey, what is Sunday roast for people that don't eat meat?
Well, I suppose like the traditional thing like was like a nut roast, you
Oh, it's
know.
just- okay.
But nowadays, like they have like tofurkey and things like that. Like we have Whole Foods in England now, and you can buy things like that a lot easier than you could.
Okay.
If you
So,
went,
yeah.
if you went to like a country pub somewhere that wasn't in like London, it would still probably be like nut roast or something
Yeah.
like that would be the vegetarian equivalent, and then
Okay.
you'd have everything else.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, but yeah, in the whole fake meat kind of industry is
Booming.
changed massively again the last 5-10 years.
Yeah.
Because I've been a vegetarian pretty much my whole life since I was about 10, and I remember when you literally couldn't get vegetarian sausages. I remember when Linda McCartney sausages came out. They're like Paul McCartney's ex-wife
Oh, okay.
brand.
Well, deceased wife.
Deceased
yeah, they were
wife.
still. Yeah.
Yeah, but like I remember when they were actually like a new thing, and it almost didn't exist.
What's the name of the brand?
Linda McCartney?
Linda McCartney.
Yeah.
Huh,
Yeah,
Interesting.
she was like Paul McCartney and Linda McCartney were really like trailblazers for vegetarianism in
Yeah.
England, and Morrissey, of course. Like,
Yeah.
Paul McCartney still promotes it now.
yeah, he does this thing called Meat Free Mondays in England, where it's like a campaign for people to like give vegetarianism a try on a Monday.
Who is this?
Paul
Paul
McCartney
Oh, okay.
from the Beatles.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his
well, like,
wife.
what's his platform for that? Like,
Well, I think he became a vegetarian in the late 60s, and he decided he thinks it's a good cause, and he knows he's a very popular figure and
Yeah,
can
yeah.
influence people. So I don't think he's got any ulterior motives. He's just
No, but
Yeah.
yeah,
just invented this Monday where people would.
yeah, I guess it's him and his daughter Stella, the fashion designer. Like, I
Okay.
think she's actually vegan, so he might be. I don't know, but basically, his wife Linda, who died like maybe 10 years ago, maybe
Yeah.
longer, she started this like food brand called Linda McCartney, and it's like it's the biggest vegetarian like
line.
like frozen foods,
Okay.
you know, so they do like sausages and then pies and things like that.
they're the ones that you could find in any kind of shop.
Yeah.
They're not like the kind of stuff
Like
you get in
only
Whole
at Whole
Foods.
Foods,
Like,
yeah.
you probably can't even get them at Whole Foods, but they're the ones that were actually there before, at least in the UK.
Yeah.
Any of that stuff.
That's super
existed.
interesting. I didn't know anything about this. That's really cool.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, I think in America or in like Maybe in certain like very alternative kind of areas, you could get like kind of fake meat, you know.
Right. Yeah,
but
I'm sure Harvest down the street, like that's like our hippie co-op supermarket, and I'm sure
Right.
they have a lot of
Yeah.
that sort of stuff.
Yeah, but I think in the past it was pretty impossible to get that stuff in the UK at least.
Yeah. So thank you to Jamie Oliver and other
Yeah,
sort of
well,
policy changers.
Paul McCartney and his wife, the deceased wife.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one I have is Eccles cake.
Oh, okay. So that is a very specific. It's a thing like a scone or a biscuit, but it's kind of crunchier, and it has like raisins or sultanas in it. But it's basically Eccles is like a part of North Manchester, and they're
okay.
made there, and that's it's like a sweet thing, you know, like a
Yeah.
you'd have
like
with.
sort of a breakfasty pastry or no? Like more
You'd
desserty?
probably
You'd
have
have
it
it
with a cup of
cup of
tea in the
tea.
afternoon
Oh,
or
okay.
something.
Yeah, you'd have it like at 5 o'clock with a cup of tea
Yeah.
or that kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Watch Countdown with a Eccles cake and a cup of tea.
What's
Yeah.
Countdown?
Oh, it's like a TV game show.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the last one I have is Eton Mess.
Eat and mess.
Yes.
Oh, I have read that in books, but I don't actually know.
Yeah, it's like, well, Eton is where like, I think the biggest, the oldest like
The
public
school,
school
yeah.
in England.
Yeah.
It's like most of the, most of our politicians went there, and it's, but what it is, it's like meringue and raspberries. It's all like mashed up.
Yeah.
It looks
Right.
kind of gross, but I guess it just like came about from that area. Eton's like basically Windsor, which
Okay.
is just outside London. But that's what it is, right?
I think so.
That's
It's
that's
not-
what I
that
know
sounds
of
like
it.
I remember. It's something I just remember like reading about. You know.
They like dump a load of cream on it.
Yeah.
It's
I
like,
think that's what it is. Yeah.
Okay, but maybe not super popular, or you just haven't had it.
Well, again, it's probably where you live in
Right,
certain
okay.
areas, in probably quite well-to-do areas. They might have Eton mess on the menu. But,
Okay.
yeah, it's not something you come across very often, I don't think.
Okay, all right. So I have some questions about Green Lane, in particular.
Right.
Congratulations on the new album. So I was wondering if, like, sort of thinking back to recording the album, what's the first dish that comes to mind? Was there something you were eating a lot, or something that you associate with that time of recording the album?
well, I don't really differentiate between like the first album and the second. I can't really, but like most of the time, when we were recording the first one and probably the second one, I would come to James's either in the morning or around lunchtime, and I always think of like James would be making like some dal, or we'd eat a lot of pita bread.
We had a lot of, particularly on the first record, a lot of pita and hummus.
Okay.
Jack would sometimes come with the really nice stuff from Whole Foods.
Yeah.
And then we'd get the pittas going, and I'd sometimes make some dal. Yeah.
It would
Yeah, lentils are really. I was talking to my roommate because she went to Cambridge for a few years, and she was saying how lentils are like super because dal is usually made with lentils, right?
Yeah.
She was saying how lentils are way more popular in the UK, just generally, not just Indian food, but
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah. Yeah.
James does make a pretty good dal.
okay.
Yeah.
Anything special about the dal?
I don't want to give away my
Okay.
my secrets, you know, in case I write a cookbook or.
Okay. So I guess the last question I have is, if you were to try to encapsulate the sound of Ultimate Painting into a dish, what sort of dish do you think represents that sound?
Ooh.
Tricky.
Well, I think it would be. Everyone always says that the recordings sound very warm, so it would be a warm dish.
Okay.
It would
so
also
But maybe
fire.
not hot.
And also something fairly simple. You know,
Yeah.
it's not like fusion cooking. It's nothing too.
No.
Not dal.
Maybe.
It does have a healthy. Yeah, but yeah, possibly.
Your
Yeah.
secret dal that you won't give the recipe for.
Yeah,
Maybe that's
maybe.
it.
Yeah, we can go with that.
We were listening to this thing the other day. We listened to, when we're like touring in England, there's a thing on Radio 4 called Desert Island Discs. I don't know
Okay.
whether you've ever heard of that. But
No.
they get like notable personalities and celebrities to come in to the studio and pick their, I think it's eight
Yeah.
eight records that they would take to a desert island. That's the whole point. And like everyone's been on it in British culture and you know, world culture. Anyway, Michael Caine was on, the actor.
Okay.
And he was talking, it was ridiculous. They were talking about how apparently he has a famous recipe for roast potatoes, and basically his recipe was the same that everyone does, where you like boil them and then roast them.
Okay.
Paul McCartney has a strange thing you can watch on YouTube about, I think it's about how to chop an onion. Or have you seen that?
No.
Oh no, that's how to make some kind of potato dish. But anyway, he's got this thing and he shows you how to. You should watch it. It's quite good.
Okay, I'll look it up.
He's got a special onion cutting technique.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's not like he made it seem like it was more special than it was. It actually is a special technique.
Apparently so. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So that's it for my questions. Do you guys have any food thoughts that you wanted to close with?
No, not really.
Okay.
So I want to forget about me biting into that meat burger before. So
I'm so sorry that Boston treated you so poorly this time,
No.
but maybe it'll be better next time.
We'll
around.
redeem. I'm sure it'll redeem itself with a good breakfast tomorrow.
All right, good. Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
thanks.